Hello, friends. The last college football lineman to win the Heisman Trophy was Leon Hart. Back in 1949, he played for Notre Dame. I know this for the same reason that I know Mickey Mantle's birthday and the phone number of my best friend in the 5th grade and all 4 verses of the Gilligan Island theme song, because I have this quirky memory for trivial stuff. My wife has a list of other things more important that somehow escape me. I bring up Leon Hart because as a 10-year-old, I was an avid collector of football cards. I knew all the players, their names, their statistics, the significant career moments of their life. I sorted all these cards by team and by alphabet and by birthday and any other way I could think of. I knew them all, and Leon Hart was one of my favorites. So one day, as I was obsessively studying these cards, my mother spied Leon Hart's card and said, "Leon Hart, why, I haven't seen him in years. I'm going to have to give him a call." And I was incredulous. I said, "Mom, this is Leon Hart, big-time professional football player for the Detroit Lions. How do you know him? You're just a mom." And she said, "Well, we'll just have to see about that." And I concluded that my mother must have been delusional. What I did not know, and what the cards did not say, was that Leon Hart graduated from Turtle Creek High School, which is where I grew up, and had dated my mother there. And several weeks later, the Lions were coming to town to play the Steelers at Forbes Field. That's where they played then. And my mother said that she would introduce me to Leon Hart. I was still dubious, but a real shock awaited me after the 9 o'clock Mass at St. Coleman's on that particular Sunday. When Leon came to town, my mom knew that he stayed at his mom's house instead of the team hotel and went to Mass before the game. We entered the church, and there, in one of the front pews, was the biggest head on top of the biggest set of shoulders on top of the biggest torso that I had ever seen in my young life. The Mass seemed to drag on, and my mother promised to introduce me to Leon after the Mass. And we stood outside the massive wooden doors, and when Leon came through, I recognized his rugged, square face immediately. My mother had no cool at all. She took out a handkerchief and started waving it above her head, yelling, "You, Leon, Leon," in her squeaky mom voice. And Leon saw her immediately and shouted, "Betty!" And he skipped nimbly through the crowd and hugged my mom, picked her up off of her feet, and swung her around in a circle. This was impressive to all present, including my dad, who had never seen my rather chunkily built mother leave the ground for any reason. He looked at me and he said, "Hey, bud, you're a big strapping guy. You going to play ball?" Yes, Mr. Hart." He took my little kid hand, made it disappear in his big, meaty mitt. And he said, "You be good to your mother, bud. She's a wonderful lady." This day marked a significant change in my relationship with Leon Hart. Before, I knew all about him. Now, I knew him, not on a card, but in the flesh. This year, the Holy Father has declared a special year to focus on the Eucharist, Jesus in our midst. Jesus is the center of it all, and yet we can become callous about it. We can know a lot about him, but never really know him. We may not fully appreciate the priceless gift that he has given us in his continuous indwelling presence. I remember quite clearly the discovery of this great mystery of the Catholic faith in my own life. I knew that I had heard about Jesus' real presence all the time I was in Catholic school, but somehow I never internalized this great truth. I didn't know that the Eucharist was Jesus in the flesh. I was away from the church for 22 years, seeking a deeper discipleship with Jesus in the Protestant fellowships. It took me a couple of years of thinking and reading my way back to the church, and even then, this reality was not really evident to me. And one day, I was praying in the church, and the lights went on. For some reason, I knew it was true. I thought I'd been seeking more of Jesus in my born-again experience, but somehow I knew that the quest stopped here at this tabernacle in St. Mary's Church, Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. It was like being born again. And as is so often the case, we find that what we were looking for was right back there where we left it. Long time ago, I moved closer to the tabernacle. I looked intently. I said, "Lord, is that you?" Silence. Affirmation. "I told you that if you sought me, you would find me. Welcome home." Sadly, it's the case that only about a third of Catholics really believe this great truth. Our religion becomes an exercise in ideas rather than a love affair with the one who gave everything for us. As Catholics, we have the opportunity not simply to have a personal relationship with Jesus, we have that with many, but a one-flesh union that we have the privilege of having with the eternal God in this great sacrament. Well, this is getting kind of long, and I think I've made my point, so many blessings on all of you.